Welcome to another episode of Floating Along. I'm Lisa,
And I'm Darren.
navigating life on the water full-time in our 62-foot boat, Soraya. Come along for the ride as we share our adventures and misadventures with you on the UK inland waterways.
Hello folks.
Morning!
We are currently on the Trent and Mersey at Rugeley. So we've been on board 7 months, but we've been cruising now for 6 months. So we thought we'd just do you a quick update with a few F's. Don't panic, Captain Mannering. F's. So we've had a fire on board. We've seen fireworks. We've had frost. We've been frozen in.
Floods.
Floods as well, yeah. So
And fun at the fair.
and fun at the fair. So we are going to put some cruising footage and other bits of footage into this video as well. But we thought we'd just take you for a walk down the towpath. The ice has now melted here. It was about a couple of inches thick. It's now melted, although it's actually only melted on the surface. It's actually still quite icy underneath the water. So that's bridge 66 on the Trent and Mersey. Rather handy here for mooring, as we have a Tesco, an Aldi and a Morrison's literally within a stone's throw of each other.
Tesco, Morrison's, very convenient.
The old building there in front, I don't know what that once was, some sort of factory. Difficult to know. There's a coot in the background, or moorhen should I say. And I know I do go on about these things, but decent towpath can't be beaten, better than slopping through mud. So as you know from previous videos, we had a problem with our diesel stove and methylated spirit. So we've gone over to gel lighters, and I did post a link for the lighters we now use so we don't burn the place down again. We've seen fireworks at Barrow-upon-Soar, fun fair at Loughborough. We've been frozen in here. We've had severe frosts. We had flooding at Salby. So, baptism of fire really for the first 6 months on board. But do you know what? We've dealt with it. You've got no choice as a boater. You have to find workarounds. The van recently sustained a few mechanical breakdowns, so luckily just by looking online and asking locals, we've managed, fingers crossed anyway, we've managed to find a local garage that can get it repaired and all back up and running properly. You can see here coming up, the ice is still sat on top. Looks like it's sat on top of the water, but in reality it's actually sat on a layer of ice just below the water line. Train! I was saying about the fact that it's melted on the top, but you can see there's a big house brick there just levitating on the water because there is that layer of ice still underneath. The youngsters around here have had hours of fun throwing stuff onto the frozen canal, which of course we all now know is going to sink or create hazards for boats. But there's been some wonderful pinging and sonic noises coming through the boat from people chucking things on.
Just the smallest of twigs thrown on the surface, just the echo underneath the water, and some lovely little tow rags were throwing all sorts in the other day and stabbing with their utility knives and all sorts of things, and the echoing and how it resonates under the water was scaring our dogs.
Now these 2 swans and these 4 ducks here have actually been further up the cut where there was a break in the ice. And for the last few nights when I've walked the dogs, they've just been in a small area, probably about 15 feet across, all together, trying to get along because it was the only water they could gain access to. Morning chaps and chapesses.
Well, the icicles have melted.
Yes, and up there,
I'll put a picture
on
in.
the bridge arch there's some rather spectacular icicles, but they've now melted. In fact, I've just been dripped on, so that answers that, whether they're still melting or not. But it's been perfectly pleasant here. We're hoping to move later this week, just waiting for the ice to subside a little bit more.
And also repairs on your van.
Yeah, so we've filled up with water. We've got water containers, and we did manage to get to a water point to fill up.
Yeah, it's the beauty of having a vehicle. It is our lifeline, so that we weren't short. Darren did a couple of trips, filled some water bladders at the nearest water point. We also both drove to the another service point where we could empty the L-sands, top up with diesel for our heating, etc. So just a bit of planning, and again, having a vehicle is a real lifeline. We are very lucky. We know a lot of boaters don't have that lifeline, but at the same time, we have checked in on other boaters as well, just to make sure that they're not short of anything.
I can see the advantage of not having a vehicle. The fact that you're not tied to where you really need to moor, so you're not too far from the van when we're leapfrogging it over the boat or up to the boat. So I can see that advantage without a doubt. But, you know, we're in a position where we do need the van. So we're going to hang on to it.
So, darling, the last 6 months, what are your reflections as continuous cruisers living on board?
As I said a few minutes ago, it's been a bit of a baptism by fire, but that's fine. We knew what we were getting into, or we had a good idea. At the minute, there's been no massive highlight, other than Jules from Jules Fuel Boats delivering, because that was total admiration for that lady.
What she can't do with the boat isn't worth knowing about.
I just think, watched her at Braunston manoeuvring her boat and her butty, and I just think
reversing
skills are just phenomenal. If you don't know who I mean, look up Jules Fuel Boats and look for Jules herself, Jules and Richard, and they've got Dog on board as well. Phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. There's been all sorts. It's immersing yourself in the lifestyle.
Yeah, we do meet some lovely people, and just have those inopportune chats.
Yeah,
on the towpath, and
bump into folks who are getting off the boat, and other boaters will say, you know, you're all right here, everything good. But certainly when the weather's been a bit rubbish, like it has been here in the UK at the minute. I know we've got a lot of foreign subscribers, and yeah, we've had it down to -8. It was yesterday morning. Was it the day before? I've got frostbite.
Day before.
Frostbite on the brain now. So yeah, -8 degrees Celsius, which is I think about 19, 20 degrees Fahrenheit, something like that. But it's been in 24 degrees on the boat, so in the 70s Fahrenheit on the boat. So yeah, we've not exactly been roughing it.
There's that winding hole that somebody asked us how far back it was. We couldn't recall, so it's literally just here.
We just turn you around again. There you go, one winding hole.
Within the mile of where we were.
So for those of you who are not really familiar with boating, a winding hole is exactly that. It's a place to turn your boat around. Our boat's 62 foot, so she does need a winding hole to be able, if we decided to turn around.
I think years ago they weren't motorised, so you did rely on the winds to help you.
Yes, you used the barge pole and the wind. You decide which way you're going to go in, because you then use the wind to push your boat around, which is why it's called a winding hole. That's what I've been led to believe anyway. So have you had any particular highlights, dear?
I mean, like you say, it's not
apart from 6 months cooped up in a steel tube with me.
Yeah. What that's punishment. Like you said, I don't think there's been highlights as such. We've just embraced the lifestyle. It's not disappointed, it's not exceeded, it's what we expected. So, I mean, from all the F's that Darren has sort of included. So, started off with fires, Then we had floods. So I wouldn't say it's a memory that I'd like to forget, but being stranded, well, not stranded, stuck for 6 weeks due to the floods on the River Soar, as wonderful as it was being next to friends and family, the frustrations of not being able to sort of get on and embrace the lifestyle of travelling and moving on, which we are now doing. So that was not, it's not a disappointment or anything, it was frustrating. So there you go, there's another F.
Yeah.
Fun fairs.
Yeah, hello ducks.
Frozen in. So I mean it's defrosting now, thawing out now, but no, I suppose for me, as we're now travelling further afield, I'm getting further away from my office base, but it's still cheaper than running a car. For those odd occasions where I go into that office, a lot of the other time I'm using train stations, hire cars to get to other office locations where I've got meetings, because I'm now part-time. So that's been a bonus, being able to sort of drop my hours. It's a lovely view of the two bridges just ahead.
Old and the new. The new train bridge coming up, and the old one, which you can actually access from up the bank.
Yeah.
But it's a bit muddy and a bit slippy up there at the minute.
But yeah, it's just adapting to the space that we have, living, working from it. But no, I'm looking forward to, we're now on new waters, which is quite nice. So, planning where we're going to moor to next, how we're going to sort of leapfrog the vehicle. You cycle back and seem to have that routine down to a T now, don't you, darling?
Yes. And I've said it before and I'll say it again, the Trent and Mersey is a lot prettier than you imagine. You think of the Trent, you think of a big wide river, you think of Nottingham, you think of Mersey, you think of Liverpool and that end, and
just
you
industrious
think
and commercial.
it is going to be all buildings and rubbish in it. But I have to say, it's incredibly pretty stretch of water. So if you are coming this way and you've never cruised it before, then I would say definitely give it a go. Because we haven't got a bad thing to say about the Trent and Mersey at all.
No, really pretty in places. Probably enough of our reflections for now then, dear. But what have we got to look forward to this year, other than waters, exploring,
we're hoping to
cities and towns?
Yeah, around the Birmingham end. And we're going to Braunston in the boat again. We've done it on a day visit before in the car. It's just not the same. Yeah, no. It's just not the same. You really want to immerse yourself in with the rest of the community, and it's far easier if you're there for a few days on the boat. Well,
that's what we'd done the year before, wasn't it, on Kingfisher? Hello, Mr. Swan.
He wasn't going to get out of the way.
Parking the vehicle again. Our logistical planning.
Park it where those cars are.
Literally there.
Just further back in that row.
Again, being sensitive of neighbours.
Yes, I'm always
not being in front of one house for too long.
Yeah, I'm always aware of that.
So we try and sort of be sensitive to the parking. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this just sort of short reflection. I say short, it's probably going to be 20-30 minutes now, but reflections of our first 6 months as continuous cruisers. And we look forward to the next 6 months and hopefully being able to share some more interesting footage with you throughout 2025. Any questions, then please pop them in the chat. So YouTube doesn't always notify me of any new comments, but I do sort of check periodically. So it's always lovely to read your comments. And if there are any questions, we'll try and include the answers in another vlog. Please like and subscribe. It is completely free and it really does help with the establishing of our channel. So all the best for 2025, and we will speak to you and share some more footage with you very soon. Thanks for watching.
Bye for now. Bye.